Hello, beloveds. This is Reverend Jerry Hobby, and I'm just so happy to be with you today. I'm happy to be with you because I know that I am healthy, I'm prosperous, I'm perfect, and I'm whole and I'm complete. We are going to have a good time today. We just completed our Prosperity Plus program, and I tell you, that was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. The people who participated, I could see tremendous progress in their lives. They continue to move forward in their truth. And this is part of our theme this month, unchaining spirituality and allowing for spirit to unfold and express itself through us. It is a natural part of our truth, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm just happy to be with you. Now, we have a couple of members of our leadership, as usual, with us. It is Sunday. We're setting the tone for the new week. And the first person I just want to introduce you to is our wonderful Patty. She's calling in today. Patty, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Wonderful. We know that you are great. Tell us, do you have any words of wisdom for us today?
The most frightening part of helping is getting involved.
Okay, wonderful. Jim, were you able to hear that?
I'm sorry?
Were you able to hear that?
Yes.
The most frightening part, say that again, Patty.
The most frightening part of helping is getting involved.
The most frightening part of helping is getting involved. And where did you get that from, Patty?
Acts of faith.
Acts of faith. And what was her advice?
It says, I will do my part, but I change it to say, I do my part for us.
Wow, I love that. I do my part for us. And you know what? This is all about being in Seba. And I most definitely agree that you do your part. So getting involved is showing up, and that showing up is selfless service. And we talk a lot about Seba, which is selfless service without any intent of receiving any form of compensation. I believe that compensation is a natural part of nature, and it shows the universe always knows regardless of the circumstances. And this is all a part of the practice of abundance also. We're taking abundance, we're taking prosperity to a new level. Thank you, Patty, for this. I'm in the realm of spirit this morning, guys. And I think I want to stay here in the realm of spirit, because when we create from the realm of spirit, we anchor something very, very special in our lives. It fulfills itself in a sacred way. So thank you, Patty, for that deep, I'm going to call it deep wisdom. Okay, Mr. Google, Jim, I'm going to probably have fun with your name today.
I know you are. So mine comes from the Science of Mind textbook, of course, and it's entitled Seeing the Perfect. It's on page 513. And Ernest Holmes says this: My eyes behold the complete and perfect in all creation, in all, over all, and through all. I see the perfect, there is nothing else to see, and no suggestion of otherness can enter my thought. I know the perfect and the complete. I am perfect and whole now. I see the good.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we have Catherine Redmond with us. And Catherine, do you have something special to share with us?
I sure do. It's from my 365 Days of Ernest Holmes, and it's for today. Yes. It's the quote is, I honor the presence of God. And the Bible quote is, if I honor myself, my honoring is nothing. It is my Father that honoreth me. Then it says, if I honor myself alone, not realizing that I am one with the divine presence, then I shall quickly exhaust the small portion of good that I, as a human being, can at any one moment contain. But if I honor the presence of God in me, of God around me and through me, of God in and through everything, then I am indeed honoring the presence of God. One Spirit is over all, in all, and through all, and one presence is all. There can be no separation from this presence, no apartness, no division. It is one, complete, total, equally distributed, and everywhere available. I feel this presence in things, in people, and in human events. And to the sense that it is all inclusive is to honor God and to provide in one's own self a place when the divine can go forth and anew into creation.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. How wonderful. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. When we talk about unchaining our spirituality, when we talk about the truth, knowing the truth, and it sets us free. This is a very important part of that process.
You're most welcome.
Part of freedom is we get to remember that the truth will set us free. And that's the most important part of our process today. And as we move forward, acknowledging that the truth will set us free, it's important for us to remember that we are one. Our oneness is very important, and that there is something deep in each and every one of us that is indestructible. It's absolute, and it is pure love. And that's the part that we get to remember in this human experience. And I always say that we are so much more than we appear to be. We're pure spirit. We're these spiritual beings here having a human experience. We're engaging in life. And as we engage in life, the most important part of this process is to remember our truth. And that truth is that each and every one of us represent the absolute, the beauty. We represent creation. And that creation that we represent is the uniqueness within each and every one of us. Most of the time, we move through life in a forgetful state. And that forgetful state is the state that creates grief, it creates separation, it creates that space where you think that person has it better than me, or I am better than that person. We go through all of that stuff. And we have done some painful and some hurtful things to each other because of our lack of understanding. And so today we get an opportunity to regroup. That's the reason we have our wonderful Power Talks on Sundays, and we come together as a collective. We're coming together as a whole. And as we come together as a whole, we get to remember the truth of our being. And as we remember the truth of our being, we get to internalize it, and we get an opportunity to experience the beauty of it. So part of this, in this week, I'm going to invite you to do a couple of things. First of all, I think it is important for you to know that you are that changeless expression of life. And I'd like for you to be able to express it in a practical way. And when I say you, I'm saying us, all of us. That includes me. One of the things that we get to do is be more powerful with the use of our words. And when I say powerful, with the use of our words, we get to walk in our truth. We get to rise in our truth if we feel any sense of separation. And so, what we get to do is live full out. And living full out means coming from our place of truth and expressing from our place of truth. And the thing that I love about our teaching, and especially with this ministry, is we create opportunities for you to do that. That's the reason we say there is value in spiritual practice. When I say there is value in spiritual practice, we get an opportunity to really engage. And the more that you engage in your truth, the more you will live your truth and express your truth. So as we move forward, I want you to start to redefine your way of expressing your truth in terms of wholeness. And part of that is being mindful of how you speak of yourself, being mindful of how you speak of others, being mindful and knowing that the spirit of perfection is within you. And Mr. Google and I have this conversation. We've been talking a lot about Ernest Holmes. And I read Mr. Google's mind because he was reminding me the other day about Ernest Holmes and some of the talk, and he was trying to figure out what this is all about. And maybe this is a teachable moment for all of us to think about the word that he heard Dr. Ernest Holmes, our extended member of our family. He's the part that links us together as a family. He used that word, glutton. Was that right, Mr. Google?
Gluttonous, yes.
Gluttonous. He used that word gluttonous, and he was trying to figure out why he was using that word gluttonous. And that was because he was having his human experience. He was moving through, and he dwelled, Ernest, I can say this, he would dwell, the love of his life was dwelling in the place of the absolute. And yet, in his human experience, he had his struggles. So part of this is I'm going to invite you to move and engage in the spirit of forgiveness, self-forgiveness. Anything you may have done, anything you may be doing to yourself in this experience. It has to do with being gluttonous, in terms of how we eat. Sometimes we're gluttonous in terms of what we may need to, we hold on to, Maybe it's time for us to release and let go of certain things. It may be ideas, it may be thoughts, it may be a lot of stuff that's going on. We get to release those things. But we get to remember too, as Ernest Holmes would say, he says, there is one power in the universe and we can all use it. And that's the part that I loved about what he did, is he used it. He also said God is universal spirit, the life principle and intelligent energy pervading all. The writer must have been referring to a spiritual mental likeness, not to a physical correspondence. Man, as the image of eternity, is made of God's stuff. We partake of the divine nature. His likeness to the ancient days is a spiritual likeness. Now, this is coming from the hidden power of the Bible, that Ernest Holmes wrote. But the most important thing is to remember that about the life that is within you. That life within you is God. Whatever is true of God is true of you, of your life. And since your life and the life of God are two, not two, but one, the enlightened have proclaimed this unity of God, this oneness of God with God. For this reason, Many have spoken of this life within you as both personal and impersonal. So when we learn to personalize that presence, we will also be able to allow it to show up universally. And that is part of our endeavor. When we allow for that presence to show up on all levels, in all ways. Because when we talk about God, or we talk about love, it's at every point and it is at every reference. So that is the truth that we get to focus on. This truth is the truth that will set us free, and it is this truth that will bless us in sacred ways. So this week, I'm just telling I had a wonderful opportunity to name the presence of God in a sacred way. I had a naming, and that naming was for my beloved granddaughter. She and I moved through some struggles this week. And the struggles that we moved through are similar to the struggles that we're all moving through right now in the real world, looking at how we can be the truth of our being. And we moved through, and I had to take a stand. And of course, she wanted to go along with the status quo of the way things had been going for a while. And I said, no, we can do better than this. Let's rise to the occasion. Sometimes it's her saying, Grandma, I need you to rise to the occasion because I might want to have a tinker tantrum. But there was something extraordinary that came, because one thing we know about each other in our struggle is we are all committed to love. I am committed to loving her. Commitment to love is showing up in a wonderful way, rising to the occasion and extending that invitation to her. So we moved through, and she had a growing experience. I had a growing experience. And out of that growing experience, she got a new name. Her new name is Doctor now. We call Jim Mr. Google. We call her Doctor. I'm so excited. My nephew, I started this many years ago, and his name was Om. And many of you may be listening because you may have known me call him Om, and people for a long time who were just meeting him thought his name was Om. We created a space of infinite good. I want you to go out into the world today. I want you to go out this week, and I want you to create infinite good. Rename your experience. Affirm the truth of your being, because we get an opportunity to do that all the time. The most important part is to be in sacred, selfless service. And that sacred, selfless service starts within you, to yourself, and supporting yourself. Remembering that you are so much more than you appear to be. That's exactly what Ernest Holmes was saying when he was doing his prayer work, and he would make reference to that. I know you appear to be that way. I appear to be that way, but I know that I'm so much more than I appear to be. I'm having a vision right now, and that vision is, I remember many years ago, there was this young lady, her name was Carrie Stringfellow. She says, I want to be an actress. And I cast her in the role of Ernest Holmes. And we talked about the character of Ernest Holmes. And it was for one of our special events. I think it was an open house. And she went and she did the dialogue of Ernest Holmes. And she embodied his character. And she took a chair, we had a chair. And Ernest, when he spoke, he was not the type of person to stand at a lectern and speak. Ernest moved around, did his thing, and she totally embodied him. Today, she is an actress. Today, she is an actress. It's about how you use your word and what you do with your word. Now, she was a teenager when she did that. This is about taking these teachings, embodying them so deep that we get to be the experience. So this is part of that process of prospering. It is part of the process of moving forward and expressing life as we desire to do, live it. And so remember that word desire. So desire is to be of God. That's the translation of it. To be of God. And you are of God. You are godly. So with that in mind, I'm going to move us into prayer today. And as we move into prayer, I want to remember our birthday people this week. Many of you already know and probably have received a request from Larry Hobby in celebration of his birthday. His birthday is Wednesday, and we want to acknowledge him. His request is that in celebration of his birthday, he really believes in these teachings, and this work that we're doing with spiritual enlightenment and truth has blessed him in so many ways. So he has established a fundraiser for those that want to honor him. And that fundraiser is so that we would receive funding in honor of him for his birthday. So his goal is $200 or more. And we're inviting you to make a donation on his behalf. And so as we're beginning to move into prayer, I want to acknowledge some special people. I'm going to acknowledge Rashid, Rob Litzfield. Happy birthday, Rob. I want to acknowledge Alicia Webb. And of course, I'm acknowledging our wonderful Jamie Lula. They're all born on this day. So we could probably call them quintuplets, sextuplets, all born of one source, and that source is God. Maybe of another mother, as Jamie would say, my brother calling Larry, my brother from another mother. It's okay. We're acknowledging our wonderful Dr. Reverend Victoria, who's celebrating her birthday this week, and our wonderful Renuka, and so many more. We honor you all. We celebrate with you all. And this prayer is dedicated to you. So I'm just going to invite you to breathe with me. Just to slow down your breathing for a little bit. And continue to move into a place of heart-focused breathing. And as you move into heart-focused breathing right now, I just want you to move into that place of remembrance. Regardless of how you got here, there was something deep at the heart and the center of life. And that deep at the heart and the center of life is love, seeking fulfillment and seeking expression. And so in this divine creation, there was the birth of a seed. And in that seed, there grew the body of you, the body of the godling, expanding and fulfilling itself. It was perfect. And so in this very moment, right here, right now, we focus on that beginning. We hear the words, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. But what I know is that in this physical incarnation, there was the birth of the heart. And the heart was the template. It was that high watch of consciousness. It was love in its highest vibration, establishing itself, creating itself, and the fulfillment of itself. And what I know about that creation is that the heart was that fuel. It was the fire. It was that breath, and it was the fluid. It carried the fluid as the system began to develop itself. The system that I'm speaking of is the system of you, the power within you. And what I know about that power is that power continued to expand itself, creating all the necessary links to support the evolution of you, the evolution of perfection, the evolution of love in action, the evolution of the spirit and the light of perfection, the evolution of that natural essence that continues to fulfill itself, reveal itself, and express itself in its wholeness. And so in this very moment, right here, right now, in this space of divine remembrance, I give thanks for the blessing of that sacred essence that is alive and thriving, expressing itself right here and right now. And I know that that divine expression is that divine essence of love. It is the essence of the one. And that one is the divine presence that abides within me, and it is the presence that abides within you. And I know that that wonderful presence is the light of lights. And in this light of lights, right here, right now, what I know is that it is the anchoring presence that is already gone before and it is prepared the way. What I'm knowing is that this week is a week that is filled with wholeness, that everyone is lifted up to the place of the very Most High, that the energy and the vibration of infinite good fulfills itself, enriches itself, it overflows in itself. And so in this space right now, I allow this loving presence, this divine light to express itself fully and completely. And what I'm knowing is that each individual is blessed, that their body temple reflect the spirit and the light of wholeness, that the essence of spirit is the very breath that we breathe. It is the very essence that fulfills itself. I know that this energy and this power is fueled. And in that fueling right here, right now, I know that there is a peace that fulfills itself within each individual, that there is clarity in thought and focus, that the divine essence of spirit maintains and fulfills itself as love, love growing and love expressing itself in all relationships, in all ways, in our divine nature as who and what we're all about. And I know that it fulfills itself in practical ways, that self-love supports the highest and greatest good, unfolding and expressing itself right now. I know that it is love that is moved into all the areas that we may feel any angst or frustration right now. And I know that love lifts us up to the place of the very Most High. I'm acknowledging that loving presence as divine prosperity overflowing, showing up through expected, unexpected channels of supply. I'm acknowledging the beauty of spirit expanding itself right now as the sacred source of being, as that universal presence, creating a space of safety, wisdom, light, and love. I'm giving thanks for that wonderful blessing expressing itself right now as the spirit of compassion, as that divine light and deliverance, deliberate nature of love and action fulfilled and overflowing right now, right where all of our leaders are. I'm acknowledging it as a system of coherence, where spirit is so aligned and in sync with itself that anything that shows up in the world, any sense of disease, the universe is able to respond with the breath of life and the breath of love. And what I know about that love is it brings about wholeness. It fulfills itself. It rises above any sense of limitation or harm. And what I know that it does is it creates a clearing where a world continues to vibrate and work for everyone. I'm acknowledging it as that wonderful vibration now, right where all of our doctors are, all of those frontline workers are, those that are in the hospitals supporting people that are moving through any sense of disease, anything that has to do with the coronavirus, and so much more. I'm acknowledging those that are discovering. And I know that in this discovery, the universe says you are so much more than you appear to be. Any sense of lack and disease simply falls to the wayside. But what I know most of all is that that divine light is everywhere present in everyone. And that in this wonderful awareness right here, right now, I know it's right where our scientists are, our researchers are, and in our discovery, in our evolution. And what I know is that the universe expands itself. It fulfills itself as divine intelligence and as knowledge. As we move forward in this thing we call healing, in this revelation of truth. And I know that there is a perfect outcome, that the universe supports the scientists as they move forward in this discovery, in this vaccine, and there's so much more that unfolds with it. The seed of God is the seed of love, and that seed of love is the seed of good fulfilling itself in this area. And what I know is if it shows up here, it shows up everywhere. So I'm claiming and knowing the spirit of perfection is alive and thriving and expressing itself. I'm so grateful this morning, and I'm grateful for the spirit and the light of God overflowing, pressed down, running over, and multiplied in practical ways within me, within everyone that is hearing this prayer, and anyone that we think of allowed to enter into this sacred space right now. And I know that my heart is full and it is overflowing with many people of the past, those that are present, and those that I'm meeting and greeting right here, right now. And we know that we're all lifted up and that that essence of spirit has demonstrated itself. So in this space, I just give thanks for the blessing of spirit. And in this gratitude, I release these sacred words into the action of universal law. And I'm inviting you all to affirm with me those sacred words. So it is.
So it is.
Amen.
So it is.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I want you guys to know how much I love and appreciate you. And I want to close out with a special song. And before we do that, I want to invite you to join us. I believe it is starting July 26th. We're starting The Secret of Our Success is Visioning. Here's an opportunity for you to exercise and engage in spiritual practice and allow it to show up right here and right now within your life as we retune for a new experience in the world. Now, I'm going to tell you that we become more stabilized when we continue to practice, engage in spiritual practice. So we have an opportunity. We're going to do a 5-week series. And 5-week series is focused on the root of prosperity and success. So join us for that. My treat for you this evening, or this morning, I should say, is a video of our beloved Jamie Lula. And we're going to say happy birthday, Jamie. We love you. And I'm saying happy birthday to everyone and all of you. We love you. We'll see you, I hope, Wednesday for Larry's birthday party celebration. Here we go, Jim.
Good morning, Agape. Hey, Fletch. So happy to be home. I celebrated my 50th birthday on the 22nd, the day after Reverend Michael. And thank you. And with my background, I'm grateful just to be anywhere. A lot of places I could have been. You all taught me how to sing. I stood next to Reverend Michael in Tag for a lot of years, and you helped me, and I'm grateful. What a good-looking congregation. In my eyes, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my life, I have been searching for something, but you were my dream. You're perfect, you're golden, you're light, you're love. You're perfect, you're golden, you're my light, my love. When I breathe, when I swallow, caress I feel. When I listen, I hear the most beautiful music out of nowhere. Oh, you're perfect. You're golden, you're light, you're perfect, you're golden, you're my light, my love. Light, 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 the angels sing, light, 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 light. When I'm sad, oh, and so dark, shallow and in doubt, when I'm trying my best to put one foot in front of the other. Oh, you're perfect, you're golden, you're the light of my life, you're my love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect, so I'll be looking to keep your guiding light, your empathy, your confidence to express independently. Oh, you're perfect, you're golden, you're the light of my life, you're my love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect, so I'll keep looking into you to keep witnessing that I'm perfect. I'm golden. You're the light of my life, of my love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect, so I'll keep looking into you to keep witnessing my perfection. In you is me. Oh, light, 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 and all the angels sing. Check it out. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Come on. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Sing it to your neighbor. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Sing it to another neighbor. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Sing it to Naomi. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Put your hand on your heart and sing it to yourself. You're perfect, golden light, my
So thank you for being part of this. What a wonderful way to start the week. Have a blessed week. Namaste.